watching mythological world. I am making disclaimer from my side that this is the video I have created only for educational and promotional use so that visitors, a fan can increase his own knowledge for the world. That's the concluding video, man.
And geography of Spain. The history of Spain, from ancient civilizations to modern democracy. Spain's long and eventful history is the product of many civilizations. Iberians, Celts, Romans, Visigoths, and Moors, each leaving behind enduring cultural, architectural, and linguistic influences. Over thousands of years, Spain transformed from a prehistoric land of tribes into one of the greatest empires in world history. Later experiencing decline, dictatorship, and finally, a return to democracy in the 20th century. Prehistoric and early civilizations. Archaeological discoveries in Spain show evidence of human habitation dating back over 1 million years. The Atapuerca caves in northern Spain.
Hello friends, I am Admin Sunny and you are watching Sunny's GK World. In this unique video, I want to concern something very unique about the Mahabharata, the very important mythological book of Hindus. In interpretation of the overall connection between the Mahabharata, Russia and future prospects included in this video. Before starting this video, I request you once again so that you never miss the upcoming videos from our side regarding various types of different knowledge about the fact which a normal person doesn't know about. Imagine being told that an ancient Indian epic like the Mahabharata secretly mentions a modern nation such as Russia, and that this reference appears to align uncanny with today's geopolitical realities. Would you dismiss it as coincidence or consider the possibility that ancient seers encoded future visions in symbolic language that we are only now being to interpret it? This idea forms the foundation of a growing narrative that links Hindu sculptures, propitious and modern global conflicts. This decision is not meant to glorify any nation or promote fear, but to explore a belief system that calms religion, wars, and destiny stand on the same timeline. According to this view, when the bird descends into Jaws, one northern land covered in snow and cold remains standing even after global destructions. The central question raised is why. Some believe that Lord Krishna himself granted a divine boon to a northern nation, ensuring its survival during the Great War of the Kali Yuga. According to these interpretations, that nation is not India, but it's Russia. Whether this is mythology, symbolism, and speculative prophecy is open to debate, but the idea continues to fascinate many people. The Mahabharata and its global references, what are they? The Mahabharata, composed by Maharishi Vedvyas, is one of the longest and most influential epics in human history till date, consisting of nearly 100,000 verses. It is often called the fifth Ved, but people don't know, and narrates the great dramatic war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Beyond warfare, it explores philosophy, duty, morality, and the nature of time. Traditionally, the epic is associated with the Indian subcontinent. However, some scholars and interpreters argue that it also references distant regions and kingdoms. In the Sabha Parva Book of Assembly Hall, particularly chapter 51, a list is given of kings who attended Yudhishthira Rajasuria Yagna. Among these names is a region described as Russia or Rusa, R-U-S-A or R-O-S-H-A, which some modern interpreters associated with present day is called as Russia. Do you understand why? This is the fact I have included this story so that to increase your knowledge regarding mythology of India and mythology of the world. This identification is not universally accepted by historians. Most academic scholars treat these names as symbolic or referring to Central Asia, Central Asian tribes, rather than modern nations, state still proponent and of the theory argued that ancient geography was far broader than commonly assumed. So, part by part, we will go through the matter. India-Russia friendship and its symbolic meaning. What's that? In modern times, India and Russia have shared a long-standing strategic partnership, from Cold War diplomacy to military and political cooperation. Russia has frequently supported India on international platforms, including at the United Nations. These historical facts are often cited by believers as evidence of an ancient karmic bond rather than mere political alignments. Some narratives suggest that this friendship predates modern politics and extends back to the era of Lord Krishna. According to legend, a northern king, sometimes named Rushk, that is R-U-S-K, or Rose, R-O-S-H, approached Lord Krishna during or after the Mahabharata war, seeking or serve dharma. Lord Krishna, preparing to leave the earlier realm, is said to have blessed the king's land, declaring that it would remain strong in Kali Yuga, means Kali Yuga, and protect righteousness when adharma peaked. Again, it is important to note that such stories do not appear clearly in critical editions of Mahabharata, but circulate in folklore, religion, traditional and tradition and letter and text. Bhavishya, Malika and apocalyptic books, what they said. A major cause fueling these beliefs is the Bhavishya Malika, a prophetic text attributed to Acharyanandaji Das, a 15th to 16th century Odia saint and one of the Panchashak, means 5 grand saints of Odisha. He is believed by followers to be Trikaldarshi, means who can see beyond the limit. It's a Hindi word is Trikaldarshi, or the people who has the knowledge beyond the limit is Trikalgyani. One who can see past, present and the future. It is called as Trikaldarshi, who sees what is past, present and what will be the future. The Bhavishya Malika contains numerous prophetics and about moral decline, wars, famine, natural disasters and the eventual arrival of Kalki Avatar. Some verses are interpreted as predicting a massive global conflict resembling a third world war involving India, China, Pakistan, Europe, the Middle East and the West. According to these interpretations, the war would last several years, result in unprecedented destructions, famine and social collapse, and calm millions of lives worldwide. However, the text is believed to suggest that India and Russia would ultimately survive the devastation through, though not without suffering. So, these are the danger nations of the upcoming features what I am discussing about here in this video. Russia and India would ultimately survive the devastations through, though not without suffering. Believers argue that Russia's survival is linked to Krishna ancient blessings, placing it as a protector of dharma in the final stage of Kali Yuga. Archaeological and other types of claims. Supporter of the theory of an city, archaeological findings in Russia and surrounding regions, claiming the discovery of symbolic such as swastika, fire altars, and idols assembling Hindu deities. They also point to linguistic similarity between Sanskrit and Slavic languages, suggesting a shared Indo-European root. Mainstream archaeological and linguistic to acknowledge Indo-European connections but do not support the conclusion that ancient Russia was a Hindu civilization. These interpretations remain speculative and are often criticized by so many selective using evidences. Hinduism in modern Russia. In recent decades, Hindu philosophy, especially through ISKCON and the Bhagavad Gita, has gained followers in Russia, while Hindus remain a small minority interest in yoga, Vedanta, and Krishna consequences has increased Russian tradition and towards the view of Bhagavad Gita are widely read not only by Hindus but also by spiritual seekers. Some enthusiasts interpret this culture interest as fulfillment of prophecy. However, from an academic perspective, this trend is better understood as part of global spiritual exchange rather than religious transformation of a nation. Now, what is the conclusion at the last? It is very, very important. Conclusion, faith, symbolism, and the future. The idea that Russia was blessed by Lord Krishna and destined to play a major role in the end of Kali Yuga exists at the intersection of faith, mythology, prophecy, and modern geopolitics. For believers, ancient texts are not merely stories but coded timelines of humanity's faith for sketchbook. These interpretations reflect symbolic thinking applied to contemporary anxiety. What is certain is that ancient sculptures like the Mahabharata and texts such as the Bhavishya Malika continue to influence how people interpret the present and imagine the future. Whether these prophecies are destiny or metaphor remains an open question right now. One that ultimately depends on personal beliefs rather than historical proofs. If everything is already written, the final question remains, are we moving blindly towards fate, or do we still have the power to choose a different path? Depends on you, what you choose. So this is the story which I took for my fans and friends around the globe. Please hit the subscribe bell and like below this video so that you never miss the upcoming mythological or different type of stories on Sunny GK World. Keep supporting and also follow my Facebook page, Instagram, thread, and our videos are also launched on Daily Motion channels. You can see you will get somewhere there on Daily Motion sites, and also we are launching Telegram channel very soon. So till then, take care, bye bye, love you all.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals that take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Admin Sunny and you're watching Sunny's GK World. Means Sunny is the channel which blogs general knowledge of the entire globe. Now, this is a very, very beautiful and a very, very important video for those who are interested to know something more about the world. So here, that's why I have created this beautiful channel so that my all Indians, Asians and international friends get engaged to learn more in their life which they don't know at all. Now here are few human beings which are of very, very under painful conditions and they are leading a very, very tough life what the God they have received from the God. Now Here I will going to talk about a woman who lives in water. Her name is Aruna Ghosh from India. Who is Aruna Ghosh? Aruna Ghosh from West Bengal suffers from a rare and painful medical condition. Whenever the wind blows, her entire body experiences unbearable pain. This is her very, very deep problem. As if her skin is burning, like she feels that her skin is burning in a fire. To get relief, she spends nearly 14 hours a day submerged in a nearby lake near to the house. The water soothes her pain, allowing her to survive. Because of her poor financial situation, the conditions are not like that, so she can able to take a proper treatment for the problem. Now she cannot afford hospital treatment even, and instead depends on the lake for comfort. Her life is a heartbreaking example of human tolerance against extreme sufferings. Now who is number two? The world's dirtiest man, Amu Haji from Iran. Amu Haji from Iran became world famous for his unusual lifestyle. He reportedly lived to be around 87 years of age right now. Though the text says 181 and had not bathed since 1954. Since 1954, he has not taken any bath. Now this is very, very ridiculous to watch and listen about this. More than 60 years, man, he has not taken bath. He feared that bathing or coming into contact with water would make him sick, so he avoided it completely. This is a human mentality when in problem. Layers of dirt covered his body, man. He also hated fresh food and water. Instead, he drank animal urine and ate decayed meat. To trim his hair, he would burn it using fire rather than cutting it and using water somewhat. He preferred to sleep and rest in dirty surroundings. His strange habits made him known as the world's most dirtiest man ever. Now, here comes number three. The man who lives in an iron lung, Paul Alexander, USA. Paul Alexander from USA. Actually, Paul Alexander is from Texas, USA. Contracted polio when he was 6 years of age. The disease paralyzed his lungs, leaving him unable to breathe naturally since the year 1950s. He has lived inside an iron lung, a large metal machine that helped him to breathe. For over 70 years, Paul has lived inside this device. He studied, became a lawyer, and even wrote a book of all while being confined to the medicine. His story is one of extraordinary perseverance and adaptation to a mechanical life. Now here comes number four. The man who lives in a swamp. Now he is Miguel Restrepo from Colombia. Now Miguel Restrepo, a former drug addict from Colombia, decided to live in a tank, sewer tank with his wife and dog. The sewer, just 3 meters long, has become their home for over 20 years now. He once lived on the streets and struggled with addictions. When he decided to quit drugs, his family and friends abandoned him, left with no money or home. He made the sewer his shelter. Inside, he has built a small kitchen, an oven, a TV, and even electricity. He decorates his home during festivals, proving that happiness does not always depend on luxurious life or from palace or from any well-cemented house. Happiness can come from any other places also if you are satisfied. Now here comes number 5, the man who raised his hand for 47 years. Sadhu Amar Bharati from India. Sadhu Amar Bharati, a Hindu holy man from Delhi, has kept one hand raised above his head since 1973, over 4 decades. He took his vow as a form of devotion to Lord Shiva and as an act of renunciation from worldly attachment. Due to keeping his hand raised for so long, the muscles have withered and the arm has become stiff and stuck in position. It's a painful but powerful symbol of his faith and spirituality towards Lord Shiva. Now here comes number 6, the man who has not cut his hair in 50 years. Since 50 years, he has not cut out his own hairs. Tran Van He from Vietnam. Tran Van He from Vietnam avoided cutting his hair for 50 years because he believed he would fall ill or may die if he did it. Very, very ridiculous all these things to hear that if you cut your hair, you may die. What type of thinking is this? Over time, his hair grew into a huge coiled bun, measuring several meters long and weighing several kilograms now. His fear of bad luck turned into a record-breaking achievement. He became known as the man with the longest hair in the world. Wow! Now, on number 7 comes another gentleman, the man who has not eaten or drunk anything for 70 years. Prahlad Jani from India. Prahlad Jani, a holy man from Gujarat, claimed that he did not eaten or drunk anything for over 70 years now. Man is terrific. He believed that divine energy and air were enough to sustain him. Even scientists studied him in hospital for weeks and found no evidence of food or water intake. This is the proof of what you are devoting for. Johnny also claimed he did not urinate or defecate, saying that yoga and meditation helped him control all bodily needs. His case remains one of the great medical mysteries, man. Now here comes number 8, the conjoined twin who lived for 66 years, Ronnie and Tony Gallion from USA. Ronnie and Tony, you are great, man. Ronnie and Tony Gallion were conjoined twins born in the US, United States, they shared the same abdomen and lower body. Doctor said that would not live alone. They will not live long, but they defied all expectations and lived 66 years. How medical failed us for saying that they will not live long. Where is that doctor? Then why are you saying if you are a doctor, you are not a God man? This is my interpretation for any doctor in the world. God has given, He will prove, not any doctor. You doctors only examine. You cannot be forecast, okay? Setting a world record for the longest living conjoined twins in the world. They performed in very serious during their youth and later become local celebrities for their resilience and cheerful attitude towards their life. Beautiful, very nice. I like it. What can doctor do? Doctor is not God man. Number 9 comes the girl who lives in a plastic tub. Rehma Haruna from Nigeria. Rahman Haruna from Nigeria was born healthy, but at 6 months old, a mysterious illness stopped the growth of her limbs. Her arms and legs moves, leaving her unable to move. Since then, she lived her entire life in a plastic tub, which her family used to carry her from one place to another place. Despite her condition, she smiled and dreamed of owning a small grocery store. Wow. Her story inspired millions worldwide before she sadly passed away at the age of 19. So sorry for that. God will give you another chance, another life. My wishes, my prayer for this beautiful girl. So don't worry, I pray for your soul and in Saniya. Don't you worry. The man who lives alone in Antarctica is Alan, Antarctic researcher. Finally, there Alan, a man who lives entirely alone in Antarctica, one of the coldest and most desolated place on earth. He worked as a researcher or station keeper, surrounded only by snow and ice. No trees there, no animals there, and no other human for hundreds of miles from the area. Despite this location, Alan finds peace in his saluted areas, and you can say solitude, and has adapted to life in one of the hardest environment on the planet. Now, these are 10 gentlemen about which I have talked about. Now, the conclusion here is this story shows that the world is full of incredible and unusual individuals who live in ways most of us can't imagine, man. Where by choice, by faith, by circumstances, or by illness, each one of them teaches a unique lesson. Haruna reminds us of strength in pain. Number 2, Amu Haji of defense against norms. Number 3, Paul Alexander of courage in limitations. Now, next one is Miguel Restrepo of hope is poverty. Another one is Amar Arati of spiritual devotion. Dan Van Hay of faith in superstitions, and Prahlad Jani of mystery beyond science. Ronnie and Donnie, the two brothers of brotherhood in unity. Rehma Haruna of acceptance and the grace. Alan of endurance in loneliness. They are living or we are living. Testaments be to how was. He said it is a dramatic lifestyle and it goes like that if the God has provided. This is Admin Sunny saying goodbye to all my fans and friends who are watching my video. Before leaving this video, I only request to hit the subscribe bell and like under this video so that you never lose the upcoming another story on this channel, and make sure to hit the subscribe bell and like on my all other music channel, also movie channel. Sunny's Explain Movie channel is just launched so that you can understand the movie story fully in my style. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to follow the Facebook page, Instagram page, Thread page, and take care of yourself. Bye. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you love this video. Before leaving the video, I request you once again to hit the subscribe button and like under this video, and share this video link and the link of the channel on WhatsApp group, Facebook, Instagram, and group, so that others get the same knowledge as you got. Thank you so much. Keep loving the world and keep supporting.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals that take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Admin Sunny's GQ World. I am Admin Sunny, making disclaimer from my side that this is the video I have created only for educational and promotional use, so that a visitor, a fan can increase his own knowledge for the world. Let's begin today's video, man.
Architecture, purpose, and cultural significance. The Great Wall of China, a monument of history, defense, and civilization. The Great Wall of China is not a single continuous structure, but rather a remarkable series of walls and fortifications built over a span of more than 2,300 years. Its purpose was primarily defensive, to protect the agricultural heartlands of northern China from the raids and invasions of nomadic tribes from the steppes of Mongolia. Beyond its practical function, however, the wall became a powerful symbol of Chinese unity, strength, and endurance. Declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, it remains one of the most iconic landmarks of human civilization. Early construction. Fragmented walls of the Warring States, 7th century BCE to 3rd century BCE. The story of the Great Wall begins in the 7th century BCE, when China was divided into small rival kingdoms. These states were constantly threatened not only by each other, but also by nomadic groups from the north, such as the Donghu and the Xiongnu. Chu State, one of the first to build defensive barriers. It created the so-called Square Wall, designed to protect its northern capital and territory. Qi State constructed large defensive embankments using rivers, hills, and man-made walls. The Qi Wall stretched to the Yellow Sea, built with tamped earth and stone. Yan State erected two defensive lines, the Northern Wall and the Yishui Wall, against nomadic threats in rival states like Qi and Zhao. Zhao, Wei, and Zheng states each developed their own wall systems, often using rammed earth technology. These fortifications were less about unifying China and more about regional defense. Thus, by the 4th century BCE, northern China was already a patchwork of defensive walls, which would later form the foundation for the imperial Great Wall. The Qin Dynasty, 221 to 206 BCE, first unification of the wall. When Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China, unified the warring states in 221 BCE, he faced the challenge of securing his northern frontier from the fearsome Xiongnu. He ordered General Meng Tian to connect and extend the existing walls of Yan, Zhao, and Qin into a single defensive system. This created what was known as the 10,000 Night Wall, a about 5,000 kilometers. The construction relied on rammed earth, stones, and forced labor. Millions of conscripted peasants, soldiers, and prisoners worked under harsh conditions. Countless lives were lost. Although this Qin wall was monumental, it quickly fell into disrepair after the dynasty collapsed in 206 BCE. Still, Qin Shi Huang set the precedent for future dynasties to maintain and expand the wall. The Han Dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, the Wall and the Silk Road. The Han Dynasty, especially under Emperor Wu, 141 to BCE, revived the wall to defend against the Xiongnu and to protect the emerging Silk Road trade network. Construction stretched westward across Gansu and Xinjiang, reaching as far as Lop Nur. New techniques included beacon towers every 5 li, about 2 kilometers, watchtowers every 10 li, and garrisons every 30 li. The wall not only provided security, but also regulated trade, migration, and taxation along the Silk Road. During this time, the wall became both a military barrier and an instrument of economic control. From the northern dynasties to the Yuan dynasty, 3rd to 14th century. Over the next 1,000 years, different dynasties modified and repaired the wall depending on military needs. Northern Wei, 386 to 534 CE, built long stretches to defend against Ruren and Khitan tribes. Northern Qi, 550 to 5577 CE, carried out massive construction projects with over 1.8 million workers, extending the wall nearly 900 miles. Sui Dynasty, 581 to 618 CE, ordered 7 major repairs in less than 40 years. Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 CE, largely abandoned the wall because China had expanded far beyond it and defeated the nomads militarily. Song Dynasty, 60 to 1279 CE, faced constant threats from the Liao and Jin, but lacked resources to fully restore the wall. Yuan Dynasty, 1206 to 1368 CE. The Mongols controlled all of China and saw little use for the wall, though they maintained certain passes for commerce and rebellion control. By the end of the Yuan period, the wall was in ruins, awaiting its greatest reconstruction under the Ming. The Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, the wall we know today. When the Ming Dynasty came to power after expelling the Mongols, they faced the constant danger of renewed invasions. Thus, they launched the most ambitious rebuilding of the Great Wall. Materials and techniques. Unlike earlier dynasties that relied on rammed earth, the Ming used bricks, cut stone blocks, and mortar reinforced with sticky rice. This made the wall far stronger and more durable. Design. The wall averaged 23-26 feet, 7 to 8 meters high, with a width of 21 feet at the base and 19 feet at the top. Watchtowers, beacon towers, and fortified passes such as Zhuangguan and Shanhaiguan strengthened its defense. Strategic gates. Zhuyang Pass, near Beijing, was among the most crucial, protecting the capital from northern invaders. Dual walls. In many places, the Ming built inner and outer walls, creating layers of defense. It is estimated that over 8,000 miles, 13,000 kilometers of walls, including natural barriers, towers, and trenches, were maintained during the Ming. Much of what tourists see today, battling Mutianyu scimitar, dates back to this era. Qing Dynasty, Qing 1644 to 1911, decline of the wall. The Manchu rulers of the Qing Dynasty did not emphasize the wall as much as the Ming. Instead, they followed a strategy of diplomatic integration and alliances with Mongols and Tibetans. As the empire expanded deep into Central Asia, the wall lost much of its military significance. It gradually decayed, though certain sections were repaired for local defense and symbolism. Has structure and features of the Great Wall. The wall was not simply a single barrier. It was a complex military system with several components. 1. Walls, constructed from local materials, tamped earth in deserts, stone in mountains, bricks near cities. Heights range from 15 to 30 feet, wide enough at the top for soldiers and horses. 2. Watchtowers, built at regular intervals for surveillance and signaling. 3. Beacon towers, used for communication through fire signals by night and smoke signals by day. 4. Passes and fortresses, strategic strongholds like Jiaiguan, the western end, and Shanhaiguan, the eastern end, known as First Pass Under Heaven. 5. Moats and ramps, added in some regions for extra protection. This integrated system allowed China to monitor movement, respond quickly to invasions, and regulate commerce. Purposes of the Great Wall. The wall served multiple roles across centuries. 1. Defense. Its primary function was to protect China from northern nomadic invasions, particularly from the Xiongnu, Mongols, and other steppe tribes. 2. Border control. Controlled immigration, and smuggling. It also allowed the Chinese Empire to collect tariffs on trade along the Silk Road. 3. Symbolic power. It projected Chinese authority, discipline, and the idea of a unified empire. Even when militarily less effective, it remained a psychological barrier. Cultural significance in mythology. The Great Wall has long been a symbol of Chinese culture. Legend. The story of Meng Jianghu, whose tears collapsed a section of the wall when her husband died during construction, reflects both the suffering of the laborers and the human cost of the project. Symbolism. By the 20th century, the wall became a national icon, representing resilience and pride. Mao Zedong famously declared, "He who has not climbed the Great Wall is not a true hero." Tourism. Today, reconstructed sections like Badalin attract millions of visitors annually. Preservation and challenges. Despite its fame, large portions of the wall have eroded or disappeared due to natural weathering, neglect, and human destruction. During the 20th century, some villages dismantled wall sections to use bricks for houses. Since the 1980s, however, conservation efforts have increased. UNESCO Heritage 1987 gave it global recognition. Restoration projects at Mutianyu, Simitai, and Jiayuguan have revived major sections. Laws now protect the wall from further damage, though illegal construction and tourism pressures remain challenges. Conclusion. The Great Wall of China is far more than just an ancient barrier. It is a living chronicle of Chinese history, stretching across dynasties, cultures, and landscapes. Built through the sweat and sacrifice of millions, it embodies the themes of defense, unity, endurance, and identity. From its fragmented beginnings in the Warring States to the grandeur of the Ming Dynasty, the wall reflects the evolution of Chinese civilization. While it could not always stop invasions, it stood as a line of resistance, a regulator of trade, and a symbol of cultural pride. Today, the Great Wall continues to inspire awe as one of the greatest architectural achievements in human history. Standing on its ancient stones, one feels not only the weight of centuries, but also the...
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you loved this video. Before leaving the video, I request you once again to hit the subscribe and like on this video and share this video link and the link of the channel on WhatsApp group, Facebook, Instagram, and group so that the same knowledge as you got. Thank you so much. Keep loving the world and keep supporting.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals that take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Edwin Sunny's GK World. I am Edwin Sunny, making disclaimer from my side that this is the video I have created only for educational and promotional use so that a visitor, a fan can increase his own knowledge for the world. Let's begin today's video, man.
The History and Geography of Georgia, created by Admin Sunny for educational purpose only to grow your knowledge about the world. Introduction. The country of Georgia is a small but historically rich nation located at the crossroads of Eastern Europe and Western Asia, nestled in the South Caucasus region. Despite its modest size, Georgia's history is deeply fascinating.